Hi, my name is Ange Malakai. So I am living in Margate in Brisbane, Queensland, and I originally from New Zealand almost 21 years ago, but I'm of Samoan and Scottish descent, which I think is really important to me. So, and what I do, or what I'm working towards doing really successfully is becoming an NLP practitioner. And I also, part of that for me is also being a motivational speaker. Before I came to whole coaching, I knew that I wasn't aligned with what my purpose was. And I had been doing a lot of, a lot of work on myself personally, spiritually, all of that stuff. And I had been really meditating on bringing all the right people in all the right places to myself so that I would be aligned with what I really should be doing with my life. I was earning, really, like, I had a really hard fought long career, and I was earning, six figures, and I was doing really, really well, and I am doing really well. But I knew that I wasn't fulfilling my purpose. I was helping people, but not in the big way that I wanted to. I so wanted it to be more. And I felt like I'd done a lot of work. I was looking for somewhere to do NLP because a colleague of mine had recommended it, and I had sort of had this mentality that if it was something that my employer was happy to pay for, which was amazing, the first aspect anyway. And I thought, like, worst case scenario, I would use it in my current role with my team. And best case scenario, it would be something that would help me to evolve and grow as well, just for me personally. And so that's what I did. And I just feel like that process of trying to find the right provider led me to whole coaching. So, because that's what happens when you're aligned, you end up at where you're supposed to be. And so for me, I remember I spoke to one place who said, oh, they're all exactly the same. So wherever you end up will be, you're going to get the same stuff wherever you go, kind of thing. And I couldn't disagree more. Having now been through the experience, I know that I wouldn't have had the same experience had I gone anywhere else. I needed to be where I was, and it was right for me. And Marina's amazing, and everything has been what I needed it to be. So since doing the course, it has been a huge growth for me. So I feel like I did a whole lot of things leading up to it that were healing for me, and that were shifts and changes and moves. But what the whole coaching did for me is that it just allowed for that last piece of the puzzle. And it meant for me, some huge miraculous changes. And it's moved me very, very quickly from being in that role to having the belief in myself to actually build my own business and start from scratch and be courageous and be vulnerable, all the things that, I really always wanted to do, but I just was finding, there were all these roadblocks. And I honestly believe a huge part of that piece was the ecology around that belief system that I had, those deep ingrained belief and core beliefs that I had that were based off my ecology that I wasn't shifting, because I was doing all of that stuff, which was, leading up to getting rid of the obstacle and getting, rather than dealing with my ecology, so that I could move to further towards my actual goal, which is what I'm doing now, moving towards what I really genuinely want to do, living in my purpose, living a life that is fulfilled, and where I feel like I know I'm doing the best thing by me and by the people around me, and, for the greater good. The biggest shift for me really has been around that, that fundamental core belief, and that part of my ecology that was really stopping me from propelling forward in what I've called a miraculous way. And I truly believe that has been a miracle. It was all the work that we did on the course, because the fabulous thing about this whole coaching, and why I know that I wouldn't have got this anywhere else, is that it wasn't just for me to be an amazing coach. It was my own personal growth, and what I got from just being vulnerable in that space and allowing for that shift and that healing to happen whilst I was in the room with those people who I barely knew. And, you know, that really started from the first minute that I got there, almost, for me. So, and, you know, I would say that for me, I was like, God, even after the first day, I was like, I'm not even going to bother with makeup, because I kept having so many major shifts. I was just crying all the time. And so I just thought, nah, like, no makeup for me, not even going to bother. And every day was something new. It was something that I learned about myself. There were so many aha moments, so many things where I was like, that's why I do that, or well, that's why so-and-so does that, or, you know, and you can, it's changed the way that I move in the world, the way that I speak in the world, the things that I see in the world. I can hear stories now that I never heard before. I recognize in other people and in myself when I tell a story or when I hear a story. So yeah, that for me, like, the whole thing has just been incredible. So for anybody who's thinking about whether this is the right decision for them, I would just say, if you've been led to it, then it's right for you. And you just have to leap, you know, like, take that leap of faith and do something big, and do something life-changing. Because if I know anything, it's that if you're on your right journey and your purpose is to serve others, then that's never going to be wrong. And coaching is that. And the other thing is that we have to be courageous to get results. And being courageous can mean jumping and doing something like this that feels like, I'm not quite sure, I don't know if I can afford it, I don't know if I have the right skills, I don't know if I'm the right person. And if it's not for you, you'll know that really quickly. But I would say, if you're here, if you're looking at this video, if you're on the page, then you're there for a reason, right? So just do it, you know, jump without a parachute. And if you fail, you'll fail forward and you'll fail fast, but it'll be all good, you won't fail. You know, worst case scenario, you would get a whole lot of personal growth from it. And I can 100% honestly say that this has changed my life. It's like I said, it's changed the way I move in the world and the things that I think and things that I feel. And it's really had some major shifts for me as a person, and my ability to live and work and breathe and be in the world. So you know, even if that was it, that would be amazing. So just do it.